here together to inform you that Edo State is giving this press briefing to update all of us on the COVID-19 vaccine that has been brought to the state that is going to be rolled out shortly. With me here this morning, we have the teams from the federal, especially the National Nigeria Center for Disease Control, the World Health Organization, the State Primary Care Development Agency, the Ministry of Health, and other key stakeholders here to update you all on what is about to come into the state as rollout of the vaccine. As you are all already aware, sorry, I will just start all over again. Sorry. Let's roll back.
It's not long.
Yeah. All right. Gentlemen and ladies of the press, I welcome you all this morning to Ministry of Health. With me this morning, we have the team from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, the WHO, that's the World Health Organization, the Edo State Primary Care Development Agency, the directors and other members from Ministry of Health, and other key stakeholders. I want to start by letting you know that I welcome you into this meeting this morning that is made to update everyone on the introduction of COVID-19 vaccine in Edo State. As you are already aware, the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine brought in by COVAX and partners was received in Abuja, Nigeria, on the 2nd of March 2021. The country appropriated to Edo State, numbering 81,080 doses of the vaccine, arrived in the state on the 10th of March at about 8:25 p.m. The rollout of these vaccines will be in 4 phases. The administration of this first phase of this vaccine, scheduled for the frontline healthcare workers, their supporting staff, and strategic leaders in the state, will commence on the 15th of March 2021. His Excellency, the Governor of Edo State, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, will officially flag off the 10-day campaign on Monday, 15th, 2021, March 15, 2021, at the new Festival Hall, Government House, here in Benin City. As most of us know, COVID-19 is a viral disease caused by a strain of coronavirus known as severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2, which belong to the family of coronaviruses. The main strain of the virus causes common cold and severe respiratory diseases. Common symptoms may include fever, dry cough, tiredness, difficulty in breathing. Other symptoms that could be experienced are aches and pains, nasal congestion, sore throat, and diarrhea. COVID-19 can be spread directly through respiratory droplets, from one person to another, which occurs between people who are in close contact with one another. That's living in a condition whereby they are less than 1.5 meters apart, or indirectly from infected materials to humans. Coronavirus affects all ages, and everyone is at risk of contracting this virus. However, healthcare workers, especially the frontline healthcare workers, have an additional job-related risk of getting infected. Hence, the administration of the vaccine to them is of top priority. Other groups with greater risk of the severe disease include the weak and elderly, people with chronic illnesses like diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, and people with conditions that lower the body's immunity. There is currently no drug that provides cure for COVID-19 disease. However, non-pharmaceutical measures including the use of vaccine, help to prevent the transmission of this disease. We should therefore continue to adhere to all basic preventive measures, including vaccination, and continue with frequent hand washing with soap under running water, avoid close contacts, regular use of face masks, and to adhere to all government preventive protocols for COVID-19. As part of the preparation for the introduction of COVID-19 vaccines in the state, healthcare workers have been duly trained at national, state, and state levels, and the same trainings are being cascaded to the local governments and the facility levels, where the vaccines will be administered. Also, all the key materials and consumables for the vaccination are being distributed appropriately to ensure successful implementation of the vaccination campaign in the state. The various field posts for the vaccination spread across the 18 local government areas of the state have been duly identified, and the locations will be adequately disseminated to the general public for ease of access. The Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine in the state will be rolled out in phases, as earlier mentioned. This first phase will be administered to frontline healthcare workers after an electronic self-registration, while the second, third, and fourth phases will include administration of these vaccines to elderly, those between ages of 18 and 49 years, with comorbidities, and the rest of the eligible populations between the ages of 18 and 49 years, respectively. This will enable us to avoid crowding at vaccination posts, as the registration or the registered healthcare workers will be scheduled and maintained for their vaccination dates via reminded for their vaccination on dates that will be sent to them via SMS and emails. The vaccine is a liquid formulation stored at a temperature between +2 degrees Celsius to +8 degrees Celsius. It comes in a 10-dose vial, and it's administered intramuscularly as 0.5 ml per dose. Only 2 doses are required for full protection, given at 8 to 12 weeks interval between each dose. Please note, this vaccine is under the WHO emergency use listing, and it has been approved by NAFDAC and is considered safe for use in the state. Be aware, therefore, that COVID-19 vaccines in the state are safe, effective, and they will be administered free of charge to every person taking the vaccine. Healthcare workers will be available at vaccination posts to give answers to questions relating to the vaccine safety and the management of possible side effects that could arise from the vaccination. I urge all eligible citizens to be patient, as everyone in the designated groups will eventually be given the vaccine. As the vaccines arrive in batches, those citizens will be informed on how they will receive these vaccines. Once again, I want to assure the public on the safety of the COVID-19 vaccines. I also crave your indulgence to continue to support Edo State government in conveying truthful, factual, and objective messages in order to dispel negative rumors around COVID-19 vaccines and the government's effort to protect citizens against the disease. While the vaccines will give long-lasting protection against coronavirus infection when the complete doses are given, in the meantime, let us continue to adhere to all the general preventive measures already instituted in the state. These include washing our hands frequently with soap under running water for at least 20 seconds, or use of alcohol-based hand sanitizers. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms of respiratory illness. Maintain at least 2 meters distance. Cover your nose and mouth properly with a tissue paper when sneezing or coughing. And dispose this tissue paper properly. We may also cough into our flexed elbow if a tissue is not available. Obey national and state directives on avoiding large gatherings. And finally, get vaccinated at the various designated vaccination centers in the state. As you all know, Edo State has been in the forefront of the fight against COVID-19 pandemic and has served as a good example for other states in the response to this pandemic in Nigeria. This is largely due to the commitment of the government and the enormous support of the people in ensuring that Edo people enjoy good health. I therefore appeal to citizens of Edo State, healthcare workers, frontliners, and all strategic leaders to make sure that this vaccination exercise is successful by ensuring that they are vaccinated. Vaccinators will be in several designated facilities, temporary field posts to vaccinate patients or persons who must be vaccinated. Do bear in mind that after vaccination, all COVID-19 guidelines should still be adhered to avoid possible reinfection. Finally, on behalf of the government of Edo State, I want to commend the efforts of the State Ministry of Health, the National Primary Care Development Agency, the partners, particularly WHO, UNICEF, and Gavi, the press, and others for their wonderful collaboration in our collective drive to ensure that coronavirus disease becomes a thing of the past in Edo State and in Nigeria in general. On that note, I want to thank you all once again for making it down to this press briefing. God bless you all, and God bless Edo State.
We expect that as many people as possible will avail themselves of this opportunity. There are a lot of rumors that are going around. In fact, almost all of them are unfounded. People talk about so many things that they cannot actually substantiate. So we will require the press to also help us give out appropriate information as to the safety of these vaccines and their efficacy, because it has been proven that those who take the vaccines are protected from being reinfected. And then over time, if a lot of us take the vaccines, it means we are developing what they call a herd immunity. So we can now all go out safely and then return back to life as normal. So please help us give out the information appropriately so that a lot of people will be aware that these things are safe. Thank you.
The logistics involved in effective transportation of this novel vaccine have already been taken care of. Just the way he said, the various health facilities at the local government level, they have solar drive devices that can store these vaccines at that specified temperature, and the potency of that vaccine is secured. So there's really nothing to be afraid of. Those things have been looked into.
So just to reconfirm what you've said, the logistics have been in place. We are not doing anything new. It's what we have been doing. The same strategies that we use for our routine vaccine, that's what we are going to use: the fish post, the temporary fish post, and the mobile team. The same strategies and the same logistic we use, that's the same thing we want to use. So we have the cold buses. We have Joe styles, like what the PS have said. We also have ice packs that will be frozen, just like we do during routine, and then we condition them. The cold buses can stay for, the ice packs in cold buses can stay for 72 hours before you change them. So all logistics are in place to keep the vaccine at the required temperature.
The first dose for the key stakeholders we have highlighted before, the frontline healthcare workers, the strategic leaders, the religious leaders that we have identified, and other key players that we must give the vaccines to. Also, in the plan in Edo State, we have planned to have our second dose ready from this batch. That's what we have decided, so that we don't have any gap in should we have delays in the arrival of the second doses that we're expecting for the state. But however, we expect that before the time or due date for the second doses are administered to persons who have had the first dose of the vaccine, we will have the next set of vaccines to administer to people. It's a continuous process, once started.